attorney Salma Leclaire, because last week, I mean, there was so much to discuss on conveyancing. I think, comprehensively discussed what to look out for, pitfalls of both buyer and seller, and that we didn't even get onto notaries or notarial work. And that's why I've invited Salma back, because we need to discuss the second aspect of what we were going to discuss, that is notarial work. So let me just welcome back. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome once again to Inspired Afternoon, Salma, and shukr for giving us your time. Salma, can you hear me? Let me just check with Ziad. I think Salma can't hear me. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, okay, let me just check what's happening there with attorney Salma Leclaire. She's an attorney that specializes in conveyancing and notarial work. And last week, we chatted at great length regarding conveyancing. In fact, I remember what she said. If you decide you need to sell a property, you need to ensure, the important thing there was to ensure that we have enough funds to actually sell a home. And that sounded like an enigma to me, in terms of, if you're selling a house, yes, you're going to gain, I mean, income is coming to you, and people already start deciding what they're going to purchase now that they've sold a property. But before receiving all that, there are upfront costs that you need to factor in. So I'm just seeing there with Ziad, I think some are still battling to hear us. Let's go for a short break, and then let's see if Brother Ziad can just sort this out. Well, I'm confident he will, because he always does in terms of the sound. Welcome back. I think we've got attorney Salma Leclaire back on, and hopefully this time she can hear me.
Yes,
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. You know, I normally speak quite loud, so when you were saying you can't hear me, then I knew definitely there's an issue.
It's just one of those days, Mariam. You know, everything that can go wrong on this side will go wrong.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so Salma, quickly, we've got 10 minutes.
Okay.
I thought I'd bring you back because we didn't, the second part of what you do in terms of notaries, because we always see that, you know, next to an attorney, in terms of what type of law they specialize in, and that. So tell us, what does that field comprise of, that aspect of law?
Okay, so a notary attests to documents. It actually, once a notary signs it, it becomes a proper legal document. It doesn't have to go to court. Well, there's certain processes that you need to follow, but the notary authenticates a document. So, for example, why this is relevant right now is that many people are thinking of immigrating, etc., and they have to get maybe all their documentation in order, like their passports, their birth certificates, and then somebody from the consulate will say you need to get this notarized or attested. And so when you do this, they'll bring me copies of birth certificates, etc., with the originals, and I have to attest it and make sure it's notarized and then attested and then also authenticated by the High Court. There's different countries in terms of the Hague Convention that fall into that. And if it's only a Hague Convention one, then you only have to go to the High Court, authenticate my signature to say, yes, Salma Leclaire is a notary public and everything she attests to is correct. And there's the other aspect where you're not a member of the Hague Convention, and you then have to go, that's a bit of a longer process. You start off at the High Court, who authenticates my signature. Then from there, from the High Court, it goes to DIRCO, who authenticates the High Court signature. And then from the DIRCO, it goes to like for the embassy, the relevant embassy, Oman or UAE, whichever. Recently it's been Oman that I've been doing, and Dubai, etc. And then it goes there and it stays there a few days, and then it authenticates, and then it becomes a document that the consulate or whoever accepts because it's been duly authenticated. So it's a bit of a process. It's a costly affair. You get charged per page by some notaries. So if you've got 10 birth certificates, you get charged per page for the birth certificate, and including the authentication document, as well as the runner's fees at the court, etc. So yeah, that's relevant for the people who are thinking of immigrating. There are other aspects of notarial.
I just want to, I always, money is important for me. The Indian in me has to ask about the cost of things. So you said, so what you're looking at if I need to notarize something, and then you send, so if I need to notarize something, you will then represent me on behalf of sending somebody to the High Court to get this authenticated. So per page, I know just like medical aids, probably you have prescribed fees and benefits and stuff like that. Or I'm hoping you do as a guideline. So what are some of the prescribed fees that you're looking to pay per page to have a document notarized?
So I don't actually have it offhand. I'm just trying to find the conveyancing guidelines. But we charge up to 1,350 Rand a page.
This is including the High Court run and that's or excluding?
No, that's per page. So I'm just trying to see if I can just search it because I don't know it offhand. But because I
more or less about 1,300
for per page. So if you have 10 pages, you charge 10,000 whatever per page. So it becomes an expensive affair. But I mean, there's other notaries who are willing to say, okay, this is it. I'm just doing birth certificates, etc., and I'll charge you a set fee of 5,000 or 6,000, and that's worth my runner's fees, etc. So yeah, it's an expensive affair, notaries.
So it's so this is different compared to just you, because I would take it an attorney by virtue of you being an attorney, you also a commissioner of oaths. Am I correct in my understanding?
Yes, but it's very different from a commissioner of oaths because they'll always say, "Can you get when it's a document commission? That's an attorney who can commission it, but it doesn't legalize automatically document. We're just verifying the person that signed in front of me, etc." But when I do notarial work, I'm saying I authenticate this person. This person is really the one that stood before me, and these are the contents of the documents that I'm authenticating. And then it already becomes a legal doc. It becomes legalized. We take it. It has more value than a commission of oaths. That's why
I just want to understand the
notarized. Yeah. So yeah, for affidavits, etc., they'll let you do a commission of oaths, but they want a notary to notarize a document for especially for your applications for immigration, VFS, all the visa centers, etc. They want notarized documents.
Okay, and so then, now it's good to know the difference between a commissioner of document and a notarized document. Yeah.
And lots of people go to any attorney and goes, "Can you commission it?" And then they go, like, it's just a commission of oaths. And when they send it through, they're like, "No, this is just a commission of oaths. It's not a notary. A notary public has certain, authentication values as such. So when we take it and it's prescribed and signed by a notary, it has a much more bigger legal value than a commission of oaths document."
Thanks for that distinction, because now you understand.
Okay.
Because
And then I
I
wanted
would
to talk
assume.
also about anti-nuptial contracts and the ANC, okay, technical
No,
problems.
Kiri, go ahead. Go ahead. Salma, can you hear me? Salma, can you
Mariam,
hear
we
me?
went offline there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So,
that
but before
time
I
of
go,
day.
I've got just keep this in mind here when we're discussing the anti-nuptial, and for Islamic purposes, it will probably be without the accrual system. But Moideen Hussein says, Salams, I need to form a family trust on my property. Could your attorney just touch briefly on it? Just a simple one with no cash injection to the trust. Those living in a property will just pay the lights, etc. Okay, so you can just think about this while you
Okay, so
telling us
that's
for the ANC without the accrual system.
there's no internet in the boardroom. It's cutting off.
Okay, let me. I think there's a problem today with Attorney Salma Leclaire. So I tell you what, let's do this. Maybe what we can do is, because we are caught up with time, I think there's many questions in terms of discussing with Attorney Salma Leclaire. So let me get her on next week. Allocate a longer time. Let's discuss the ANC contracts without the accrual system, as well as Brother Moideen's question in terms of setting up a trust and things like that. And maybe let's discuss trust in terms of our Did You Know segment. So I'm going to get Ziad to call Salma, and let's continue with this discussion next week, because I'd really like to discuss that in terms of setting up a trust. I think that will be enlightening and informative for all our listeners as well. So we'll continue our discussion with Attorney Salma Leclaire next week, inshallah. We're going to go for a short break, and then we're going to speak to Sister Naseem, Haji Naseem Khan, after the break. Assalamu alaikum.